What's up, Biggie Nation? Today we're going to go Freddie's 5 favorite back exercises to help build your back to a championship winning back. These have been my exercises that I've been doing as a staple throughout my entire bodybuilding career. Some changed up, added in stuff, but these are things I think are going to help any bodybuilder attain a championship back. So we're going to start out with pull-ups. Pull-ups, I love doing pull-ups. Number one, there's so many different variations of pull-ups that you can do, but as long as you engage the scapula by depressing it down as you pull up and don't roll the shoulders forward, you're going to engage a whole lot of muscle tissue back there, from the rhomboids, the latissimus, even down into the spinal erectors a little bit. But if you got to keep your core tight in order to pull up without swinging. So pull-ups do a whole lot. I love pull-ups, and my 2 favorite variations are wide grip, the pronated, and a semi-supinated close grip pull-up. These 2 I think give you the absolute best contractions, fully work the lats, fully work the rhomboids, the mid-back, all that stuff. So definitely incorporate pull-ups. One of my favorite pull-up routines is just going in and knocking out 50 reps, as many sets as it takes. You know, that's one of my favorite, and I suggest you try it. The next thing you're going to move over to are deadlifts. Deadlifts are amazing for building the posterior chain from top to bottom. To isolate the back, what I like to do is rack deadlifts. Rack deadlifts, setting the rack below the knee to get more hip involvement, but still primarily targeting spinal erectors in the mid-trap area. If I want to go a little heavier and take the hips out of it, then we're hitting more above the knee, and again that becomes more lower back intense. But I love rack deadlifts, they're amazing. And then there's a variation of the deadlift. I like, if I'm doing a full deadlift, I think you get the most bang for your buck as a bodybuilder by doing snatch grip deadlifts. Snatch grip deadlifts actually work your lats a whole lot. You get a lot of lat stimulation because of the wide grip, because of the way you have to pull and stay erect through the motion. Your lats get a lot of tension, a lot of stimulation. So deadlifts typically work the mid-back, the entire, from traps all the way down to spider erectors, but you can get a little bit more lat involvement by doing a snatch grip on it. So if you haven't tried snatch grip deadlifts, I suggest you try them. You're going to love them. What I like to do is a slow eccentric when I do snatch grip deadlifts, anywhere from 6 to 8 reps. Slow eccentric, 5-second negative, 3-second negative, come down and explode up. When I'm doing rack deadlifts, we like to keep it pretty simple. We go heavy, usually starting with warm-ups of 8 reps and then going as low as 3 reps when we do rack deadlifts. We create the intensity in that movement by increasing the weight. Then from there, we are rolling over to seated rows. And the key here with seated rows is a great movement for the mid-back, mid-upper back. The way we're doing them here with our elbows by our side is your standard. I mean, seated rows have so many variations. You can go up to the sternum, you can go out wide. But the main thing is make sure that you're retracting the shoulder blades, not rolling the shoulders forward, and driving your elbows back into your hips, you know, or back behind your torso. You don't want to pull from your biceps. You want to think of your hands as being hooks and drive those elbows back towards your hip, back behind your torso, and you're going to get a great contraction through your upper back and through your mid-lat. So definitely try that. Again, the rep range I'm using in there is somewhere, usually like 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps, somewhere in there. But the main thing is time under tension, 3-second negatives, squeezing. Don't just pull, don't just go ballistically without any control. Controlling the movement is everything, and pretty much all your back exercises. And then from there, we're gonna roll over to dumbbell rows. Dumbbell rows, man, they really work the lats, really work the upper back. They're a great mid-back movement. I like to do them by, like, almost like you're using a pulling a lawnmower cord, you know, or like a sawing motion where you're driving the elbow into the hip and then letting the hand stretch underneath the pec. So again, we're gonna drive the elbow into the hip, let the arm stretch underneath the pec, so that in the beginning of the motion, your dumbbell is underneath your pec, and the top of the motion, the dumbbell's closer to your hip. And we keep this motion, you get the lats a nice stretch, pull into your upper back, upper mid back. So definitely try that. Again, the rep range 8 to 12, controlled motion, not just moving, flailing, making sure that you're feeling the muscle contract. I got a saying, we're not in here to move weight, we're in here to make muscles contract the muscle. All right, and then from there, almost done, we're gonna go over to dumbbell pullovers. Love, love, love this movement. Normally we're putting this down as number 5, but I'd like to start my back workout with this movement. Opens everything up, nice stretch in the interior portion of the lat. When you're doing a front lat spread or standing big to the front, I like to do this. I like to do this to create more thickness in the lower lats, and it does a great job of that. Because if you're when you're pulling, you're doing a pull up. A lot of times people feel it in their triceps, but the reason they're feeling their triceps because they're not focusing on the elbows. The elbows have to drive in and up towards your hips. As soon as you get the dumbbell over your chin, go right back down and let it stretch. And you're driving your elbows up. You're not thinking of pushing up with your hands. Think of driving up with your elbows, and your lats will get all the stimulation. So those are my favorite 5 for back. I love those movements. So we're hitting every aspect. We're hitting the traps, we're hitting the rhomboids, we're hitting the lats, the spinal erectors, we're hitting it all. And to even your teres major and minor with all the pull-ups and the rows. So as a bonus, we're gonna add in something I learned from Paul Carter, Lift Run Bang. If you don't follow him on Instagram, do it at Lift Run Bang. It's a standard proper row using your typical Cybex or machine one-arm row. And why I like this is it's actually kind of different. Instead of just driving the elbows back, you're actually driving the elbows back and down into your hip. And because you're standing up with one hand placed on the pad, it gives you that mobility to pull down into your lat. This movement looks a little crazy, but I'm telling you, it works. It's the best stimulator that I felt for my lats in terms of just actually feeling the muscle work. It almost feels like it's such a tight contraction, you actually get a cramp in the muscle. So if you haven't tried these, I strongly suggest trying these. Do them, if you haven't done them before, but do them at the beginning of the workout so you're fresh, so you can fully concentrate. You start the movement off, you can track your abs down, and then you drive the elbow down into the hip, not just back. Down and back into the hip. So definitely give those a try. You don't need a lot of weight. I've been doing these for probably, a couple months, and I'm just now hitting the whole stack for 8 reps. Again, I'm doing a 2-second hold, 3-second negative, and it's taking me a minute to work up to that, but I love this movement. I think this is a great movement. So key points when you're working back: retract the scapula, depress the scapula, everything moves from the scapula. If you're doing traps, elevate the scapula. Drive the elbows into your hips. Almost in every movement you're doing, it's about putting the elbows into your hips and not pulling from your biceps. And then last but not least, control the movement. Don't just move weight, move under control, contract the muscle, don't just move weight. That's my 2 cents for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Whatever you guys want to hear, please leave feedback underneath. The workout that I just described will be put up on the screen. And like, subscribe, ring the bell so you can watch all our videos as they come up. Peace.